Hey, good morning, everybody. We're here ready to face another week, faith another week. That's what I need to say. So, listen, we have a nature inside of us that in the church we call it the sin nature, but we have a nature inside of us. There's a part of us uh, that does not want to be who God wants us to be, does not want us to live a life that honors God. It in fact is constantly trying to lead us into roads of self-destruction or roads of sinfulness and unrighteousness, and it's always in there. It's kind of touching on our heart. It's kind of touching in our mind, and it's letting us see something or feel something or experience something that is always going to take us away from God. And uh, actually, before Christ, and even after Christ, but certainly before Christ, we just follow that nature, and we just go down those roads, and we just let it lead us wherever it might lead us. Now, once we come to Christ, we have another nature inside of us. Now, that old nature, it's still there. It doesn't necessarily go away. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But we have a new nature, and it's the Spirit of God that lives inside of us. And we've been made new creations. And so this new nature now wants us to be who God wants us to be. It puts in us a desire to live a life of righteousness and to follow the ways of God and to follow the things of God. But now we have this little battle going on, right? And it's in our heart, it's in our mind, and it's in our spirit, and it's in our desires, and it's deep in our soul. And there's a part that's saying, hey, I want you to go down this road. This is very enticing. We know it's wrong and we know it's not right, but it's very enticing, and it looks very appealing. It looks very fun. It looks like it would really meet some needs in my life. And then there's this other, I said, but I know that's not what God wants for me, and I know that it will end in destruction. So what I really need to do is go down this road. And what happens is we have this snowball effect. Whichever one of these natures we begin to follow, we become enslaved to that nature. And as we begin to give in to the nature that takes us down the unrighteous roads, it begins to control us more and more and more and more. And when we give in and we follow the roads of our spiritual nature and our nature that's born again, it snowballs as well in the other way. And we will more and more and more follow Christ and follow what God wants us to do. So I said all that in preference to the verses that I picked out today. Romans chapter 6, verse 17 and 18. So Paul writes this. He says, God be thanked that though you were slaves of sin, yet you obeyed from the heart the form of doctrine from which you were delivered, and having been set free from sin, you became slaves of righteousness. So here's what I want you to know, and here's what I want you to understand. Before Christ, the only nature that guided our life was the one that led us away from God and one that led us through destruction. And now, once we have uh, received Christ into our life, we now have a spiritual nature that has been born again. And we actually have a spiritual nature that can overcome the sinful nature and actually renders it inoperable in our lives. And now we can truly follow God, and now we can truly follow Christ. So he's saying, I'm thankful that you're no longer slaves of sin, but now you have obeyed. You've received the gospel. You've received Christ. You've been set free from that nature, and now you can become slaves of righteousness. So think about that in your decisions and in your choices that you're tempted to make today. Put yourself on the road that follows Christ and follow God. Become slaves of righteousness because we've been set free as slaves of sin. God bless you guys. Have a good day. Get out there and faith today. Love y'all. Bye.